I started judo at the age of 4. My father was a sensei and he took my brother and me to the club and we started judo with him. It was kind of like a family thing. However, I did a lot of other sports when I was young, and then at the age of 12 I got a neck injury at a judo competition and I kind of stopped doing judo for like 4 years. I'd train once a week, something like that. And in that time I focused a lot on sailing. However, when I got older, I started to speak with my dad a bit more. My dad's always been very into the sport, he loves the sport. And I started to realize the beauty behind the sport, that it's not just fighting, that it's an art form, the science behind certain movements and stuff like that. And from there, my love for the sport kind of blossomed again, and I got into it again. I'm a full-time athlete, but I also study. Currently I'm doing my master's. So finding the time to juggle between being a full-time athlete, training 5-6 hours a day, every day, as well as finding time to study has always been a bit of a time management struggle. However, personally, especially in judo, a very big challenge we face is the lack of partners. Being 48 kilos, there aren't many athletes, there are no athletes almost, who are my weight and my level. Unfortunately, I get stuck training a lot of time with younger athletes or else heavier athletes, which creates a lot of difficulties for me to practice my throws and to learn. In fact, we end up having to travel a lot just to get some experience. It is a financial burden. We do get some funding from the Malta Olympic Committee on Sports Malta when it comes to traveling, at least the top athletes in Malta do. So we're able to be financed a bit for when we travel. However, as such, traveling so much and training and studying doesn't really leave much time for a job or any other way to get any income, so we're very limited. It's quite difficult, especially judo is a weight class sport, so you have to make a certain weight. So especially when you're coming closer to a competition, it becomes a lot harder to go in social situations, because as a culture we tend to associate socializing with food, which creates a bit of a challenge because you'll be limiting and you'll be trying to cut weight. So in those times it's very difficult. However, you find time for what you want in life. If you have a dream, if you have a goal, whether it's studying and training, whether it's both, you'll find time to manage between them. And then the time you have left, you fit in meeting up with friends who understand the situation, obviously. I think there needs to be a big change in the mentality. It's changing, but it's slow. One thing that I truly believe is people need to start understanding different sports. There are closed sports and there are open sports. The closed sports would be those where you can have personal bests and you can have a measurable number. Whereas open sports are left up to who you're facing that day. So I think first we need to understand the difference, that these two types of sports can't be directly compared to each other, because whereas in closed sports you can go and you can get a personal best, which is brilliant. In an open sport, you don't have that, so you can't compare them directly. They're held to the same standard, but they're not, making it a bit harder. But I think we need to start looking at other sports that aside from just football and aside from the very few sports, and looking into other sports which we're good at, such as snooker and many other sports actually, which are slowly building up, have built up over time and have gotten a bit more popular, and try to invest in those sports where we stand a chance. I think it would be getting a bronze medal at the Commonwealth Games, getting a bronze medal at the Commonwealth Championships, which was 3 years ago now, and a few other medals in between. However, I hope that my best achievements are still to come. So currently I'm working towards the under-23 Europeans and the Europeans for the small nations. And then after that I'll be going to a Grand Slam, hopefully.